So I want to welcome everybody to this 13th joint webinar OECD-COLEAD. This time we will be discussing the role of artificial intelligence in the fruit and vegetable sector. My name is José Brambila, and I'm the program manager of the OECD Fruit and Vegetable Scheme, and I have the pleasure to be the moderator of this session. Before we start, some technicalities. So all of you have below on your screen interpretation. So this webinar will be in French and English, so you can choose your preferred language there. We will have presentations of 10 minutes, and only at the end we will have questions and answers. So if you have any questions, you can put them on the chat, and then we will provide those questions to the experts. The session will be divided in two blocks. So in the first part, we will be discussing the role of artificial intelligence in the fruit and vegetable value chain. And in the second phase, we will be discussing artificial intelligence in practice. So business applications, opportunities, and constraints. So now to start, I will give the floor to Inês Bastos. She's the head of Networks and Alliances of COLEAD, and she will give us an introductory note. Inês, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, José. Good morning, bonjour, good afternoon to everyone, and welcome. Whether you are joining us from Paris, like the OECD team, Brussels, Nairobi, Kampala, Senegal, Togo, Zimbabwe, or anywhere else around the world, you are all I'm very glad and we are all very glad to have you with us today. So as mentioned, my name is Inês. I lead the Networks and Alliances unit at COLEAD since very recently, since April. And it is my pleasure to open this session of the OECD COLEAD series. I would like to thank and to give a warm thank to the partners at OECD Trade and Agriculture Directorate, and in particular to José BRAMBILA-MACIAS. Thank you for moderating today's session. I would say that this collaboration reflects something we believe deeply at COLEAD, that advancing agri-food systems requires both the rigor of policy analysis, but also the reality on the field. Going to today's session, that we all know, it's the role of AI in the fruit and vegetable sector. I would like to say that artificial intelligence means very different things depending on where you are in the value chain, depending on and this we will hear from the speakers in their different positions. For example, for a logistics manager, that is, for example, in Rotterdam, it might mean a demand forecasting tool that reduces food waste. For a quality control officer, it might mean a computer vision system that grades avocados or mangoes in just a few seconds. But for a smallholder farmer near a remote location here in Europe or in the global south with a smartphone, but with an intermittent data connection, it might still feel like a distant promise. So it's quite a distant reality, AI. So AI is really at work across, it's already at the fruits and vegetable value chains. We can see it in crop monitoring, post-harvest quality control, traceability, logistics, market intelligence. This is not the future, this is happening now, and we will hear from the speakers today. So over this session, we'll hear from researchers and innovators from businesses in Kenya and Uganda that will share their experience on the ground. At COLEAD, we work with agri-food smallholder farmers, with big, small, large companies at local, regional, or international markets. And we observe that the gap between the pace of technological change and the capacity of smaller operators to engage with AI, it's still quite challenging. So closing this gap requires better tools, yes, information. It also requires role models, like I think the ones we will hear today, and conversations like we will have today. So to our speakers, thank you all for your expertise, for your experience, and for taking your time, your very busy time to be here today. Thank you also for the ones that are with us from the different parts of the world. I would like to invite you to introduce yourself. This is a webinar format, so we cannot really have the opportunity to to get to know each other that is here today, but I see a good number of participants. So if you could include in the chat box your name, the company, and the country you are coming from, it would be great. So let's get started. I hand over to OECD. I don't know if to Mercedes or to our moderator, José Brambila, but the floor is yours, and thank you a lot for being here today.
Thank you, Inês. Thanks again to COLEAD for all the support. So now we start with the first section. So the role of AI in fruit and vegetable value chains, sorry. And our first speaker is Mercedes CAMPI. She works with us at OECD. Mercedes is an agricultural policy analyst. And she works at the Trade and Agriculture Directorate of OECD. Her work focuses on innovation, digitalization, and sustainability, assessing the impacts of public policies on innovation and sustainable productivity growth. Her previous work includes examining the effects of intellectual property rights systems on innovation, trade, and development. And she has published research in leading academic journals, including Research Policy, World Development, Regional Studies, Journal of Development Studies, and Environmental Research Letters. And additionally, she has conducted consultancy work for the Inter-American Development Bank, the United Nations Development Program, and the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean. She collaborated on various public sector projects in Argentina, and she holds a bachelor degree from the University of Buenos Aires in Argentina, and a Master in Science from the University de San Andrés, also in Argentina, and a PhD in Economics from Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna, Pisa, Italy. So we give the floor now to Mercedes CAMPI. Mercedes, please.
Thank you very much. Well, I will not introduce myself because Jose already gave a long introduction about myself. Good morning to everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation to participate at this workshop or webinar. Today I will discuss the role that artificial intelligence can play in supporting sustainable productivity growth in agriculture. And this, of course, applies to the fruits and vegetable sector. But in the division where I work, we focus mostly on the agriculture and food systems, and we look very much at how this affects farmers and how policymakers can help adoption of AI. So this presentation builds on ongoing work at OECD or some work that we have recently published, mainly on agricultural innovation systems, digitalization, and sustainability. So next slide, please. I wanted to start today by situating artificial intelligence within the broader transformation of food systems that we concentrate on in our work. So we know that today agriculture faces many challenges, and OECD calls a triple challenge that first requires ensuring food security and nutrition for a growing global population, which is expected to reach nearly 10 billion people by 2050. Second, addressing major environmental and climate challenges, including increasing extreme weather events and pressures on natural resources. And third, maintaining inclusive and economically viable rural areas by improving livelihoods and attracting younger generations into the sector. At the same time, we know that there is a rapid technological change, and particularly recently concentrated in digitalization and artificial intelligence, which is transforming how agricultural systems operate and how decisions are made by the sector. So I wanted to stress before starting that AI emerges not in isolation, but as part of a broader structural transformation of agriculture and food system. Next slide, please. AI is increasingly becoming a key enabler of innovation in agriculture. So this is also very important for the work that we do, because it can support decision-making across the value chain, from production to logistics and market analysis. And one of its main values comes from the ability to process large amounts of data and generate actionable insights. And so this is why we focus on this as policymakers and as policy analysts that help policymakers. It enables us to provide empirical evidence to design better policies. Next slide, please. So next, I wanted to summarize the main channels through which AI can contribute to addressing agricultural challenges. We focus on these four main channels. The first one is that AI can foster more sustainable farming practices and that it can support innovation across the food system. It can also improve resource efficiency and support more data-driven decision-making, which can also help to provide more tailored solutions, for example, for farms that face resource and knowledge constraints in different realities. It can also have an impact on social well-being because it can reduce manual labor through task automation and resource optimization. And overall, what we are interested in is on the potential to improve productivity, sustainability, and resilience across agricultural systems. Next slide, please. So more specifically on the environmental sustainability and productivity area, that is what we call sustainable productivity growth, AI has potential impacts because it can improve the efficiency and the precision of agricultural production systems, while at the same time improving environmental impact of the agricultural activities. For example, better monitoring and more targeted management practices can contribute to more efficient input use, lower nutrition losses and chemical applications, to improved crop and livestock management, and to provide more stable yields. At the same time, AI can support reductions in food loss and waste, improve logistics, and better align production with market demand. And there is ongoing work also on food loss and waste and how AI can help with this relevant issue. Next slide, please. Another part of our work focuses on the potential social benefits that AI can generate. And we have worked at least in these two reports that you can see there, where we show that, for example, tasks, digital tools may also improve work-life balance by reducing labor intensity and increasing operational flexibility. And there are also evidence, or we found evidence, that digital technologies can support on-farm diversification activities such as agritourism or new business models, making the sector more attractive to, for example, younger farmers or more dynamic entrepreneurs. And AI-enabled platforms and digital networks may also help reduce isolations that farmers face in some areas and strengthen social connections among farmers. The next slide, please. So the next area in which we concentrate and where we analyze and we are already using the potential benefits of AI is using it as a tool for research and policy analysis. We are currently exploring how machine learning methods can help classify and categorize or characterize large volumes of innovation-related information. We have applied it to analyze patents, scientific publications, and policy documents to identify trends in agricultural innovation. And this can improve how we see and understand which technologies are emerging, how innovation is evolving, and whether innovation trajectories are aligned with the objectives that we pursue, for example, sustainability objectives. AI methods can now complement indicators, more traditional indicators, and can help generate more timely and detailed evidence for us. But of course, interpretation and expert validations remain essential for us. Next slide, please. Then, despite these potential benefits, we observe that the adoption of AI in agriculture remains uneven and is constrained by a combination of structural, economic, and also organizational factors. One of the major issues are limitations in digital infrastructure and connectivity, and in particular in rural areas. These restrict the effective deployment of AI-based solutions. There are also limitations related with data, which remain significant. For example, we found evidence that agricultural data are often fragmented and located in different places, which are also difficult to access and insufficiently interoperable across systems, and this limits their use for AI applications. There are also economic considerations, of course, that are very important, like high upfront investment costs and uncertain returns that discourage adoption, in particular for small, medium enterprises and small farms. And there are also skill gaps and integration challenges that persist because many producers and farmers face difficulties incorporating AI tools into existing farm management practices. Finally, we are also focusing on concerns related to interoperability, login issues, trust, and data governance, and we are also working on this area. Because these constraints are particularly relevant for small medium enterprises, we claim that without appropriate policy intervention, AI adoption risks reinforcing existing digital divides within the agricultural sector. So we have an important role as policymakers in facing this. Next slide, please. And in this slide, I wanted to provide you a summary of some results obtained in recent works on AI and digital technologies uptake patterns in the agricultural sector. This means that it's difficult to have because of problems with comparability across countries and the type of technologies that are used in different subsectors and different countries. But in general, or I wanted to provide you a summary of what is happening in agriculture and of the evidence that we have. We know that adoption is concentrated mainly in high value crops and specialized operations and larger technologically advanced farms. And this is in the European Union, but also in a previous work that we did where we tried to review the literature and the evidence that it's around there. And we observe the same in other countries. Examples of this adoption include robotic systems for milking, seeding, weeding, spraying, harvesting, but also predictive analytics and monitoring tools. However, diffusion remains relatively uneven, even within the EU countries. And the barriers that limited broader uptake are largely the same that we have already discussed. But here, what I wanted to highlight is that this is telling us that technological feasibility alone is not sufficient. Institutional, economic, and governance conditions are equally important in determining AI adoption. That AI adoption becomes widespread and inclusive. So next slide, and to conclude, I tried to summarize to highlight here 4 policy areas or areas of policy action that are particularly relevant for AI adoption and for harnessing the benefits of these technologies. First, infrastructure and connectivity are very relevant. We need reliable broadband and digital infrastructure, which are preconditions for AI adoption. data availability and governance. We need to improve data accessibility and interoperability while addressing privacy, ownership, and trust concerns to support innovation. So we need to get a balance between access and protection of data. Regulatory and policy framework are also very relevant because clear and predictable governance can encourage innovation while managing risks related to transparency, accountability, and market concentration. And finally, skills, trust, and collaboration are very relevant. We need to strengthen digital capabilities and foster trust through transparency and stakeholder engagement. Overall, artificial intelligence holds significant potential to help agriculture address the triple challenge, but this potential will only materialize if appropriate enabling conditions are in place and we implement policies in order to reduce the existing gaps. So thank you very much. I will finish my presentation here and I'm looking forward to your questions later.
Thank you very much, Mercedes. Well, remember to put your questions in the chat, and at the end we will try to address most of them. So now we're moving to the next expert. So we are really glad to have Elad Mardix, the CEO and co-founder of Clarifresh, formerly Clarifruit, an AI-powered quality control platform designed for the fresh produce and broader fresh food supply chain. Since co-founding the company in 2018, he has led its mission to make fruit and vegetables quality control faster, more objective, and more consistent using computer vision, mobile inspection tools, and cloud-based data analytics to support growers, marketers, wholesalers, and retailers. Clarifresh helps supply chain actors reduce waste, improve quality assurance, limit rejected shipments, and make better commercial decisions based on real-time quality control data. Before founding Clarifresh, Elad built extensive experience in technology investment banking, including leadership roles at JP Morgan in Asia Pacific and the United States. So now we welcome Elad. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate the introduction and the opportunity to be here. Just to make sure you guys can see my my slide screen. If not, please let me know.
Yes, it's fine.
Perfect. So I'm going to kick it off, guys. Pleasure to be here. CEO and one of the three co-founders of Clarifresh. I want to talk about three key things. Number one, who we are and what we're doing. Number two, give you a little bit of perspective on where we're coming from, why we're doing what we're doing, and then finish up with the value, the benefits that our almost 100 customers have been able to realize over the last 8 years. Okay. So as Jose mentioned, we started the business about 8 years ago. We do a headquarter between Israel, where most of the R&Ds, and actually East Coast US, where most of the commercial team is headquartered. We're really the first one to build a software platform that is dedicated solely to the fresh produce supply chain. And our goal is really to help the industry do two things. Number one, digitalize and automate the actual inspection process. So remove as much as human judgment and make it much more objective and consistent. Number two, we want to help you guys make decisions such as who's the best customer to ship your produce and where should you ship it based on data rather than based on the intuition of your inspectors, pickers, quality manager, etc. And I think we are all aware of the fresh produce supply chain is not the most efficient supply chain in the world, put it that way. There are different reasons for waste, but when we started this business back in 2018, we went and spoke to about 55 large marketing companies and wholesalers. And we came to the conclusion that there is one big common denominator across all the different waste drivers, and that is what the industry calls quality mismatch. A quality mismatch is a lose-lose scenario where you guys do not get the price that you wanted for your produce, and your buyer does not get the quality that she expected. And essentially, as we went and dig into this issue, we've identified three key reasons for why a quality mismatch may happen. Reason number one is that you and your buyer do not speak the same language with respect to quality, right? They have their own quality spec, 20-page PDF or an Excel. They send it to you. You guys translate it in one way. Their QC inspector translate it in a slightly different way. And there is a reason number one for why there may be a rejection or a price renegotiation. Reason number two is that even if you and your buyer were to speak the same language, the actual inspection process today is very subjective. You have a human person on both sides making a judgment on the size, on the color palette, and definitely defects. And the third issue is that you and your buyers have very limited amount of information and data to actually base their quality decisions on. And essentially what we've done is we went and built a software platform that we believe is addressing each one of those issues. How do we do it? 3 key steps. Step number one, we essentially invented a language. We call it the Clarifresh language. And essentially what we do is you and the marketing companies and the wholesaler and retailers are onboarding our platform. We take all of your quality specs and we convert them to a digital spec. And from now on, that's how you or your buyer communicate and evaluate quality across the supply chain. So there is no ambiguity on how to translate the quality spec of a specific variety or a buyer. Step number two, we developed in-house a computer vision technology, which we have a patent on in the EU as well as in the United States, where you can essentially perform the QC through our mobile app. It can be in the field, it can be in the pack house, inbound point, outbound point, in a distribution center, even in the front store of a Tesco. And we enable you to take a picture of the fruit or vegetable. We analyze automatically size and color. So we remove the human judgment element of this analysis. We're doing the same now for defects, i.e. automating the defect identification. And we integrate wirelessly to other third-party devices like Brix refractometer or a Durometer, etc. So all the data can be transmitted wirelessly into the app. We take all this data up to the cloud and come back with a grade within a couple of seconds based on your quality spec or your buyer spec to let you know what is the grade that your buyer would assign for this QC. The third step is really the big data and analytics. Obviously, everything is on the cloud. You got automatically generated QC report that you can either send to your customer or you can send it to your management, QC manager, etc. You have all the data and analytics running on your kind of dashboard, so you can see trends within this season versus last season. And we can even share with you analytics in real time to help you optimize matching of quality of supply to a specific customer specs. So this is really the solution that we've introduced to the market over the last 8 years. We deliver it through 2 components. Component number one, mobile app for the inspector, again, wherever she is, probably in most audience case here, it could be in the field or just at the entrance of the pack house. And then we have a management and analytic dashboard for the QC manager, operation director, just could be senior managers of the business who wants to have real-time access to the data and to the reporting so they can make decisions based on that. So as I mentioned before, we got almost 100 customers today. Most of them are the largest brands, marketing companies globally. That's probably about 80% of our customers today. You can see some of those names, the bigger ones, on the left-hand side of the page. Most of our early customers tend to be the global growing and export businesses where they have multi-site growing operations. So consistency of quality is a big challenge for them. That's why they were the early adopters of our platform. We have expanded into downstream of the supply chain, wholesalers and retailers, particularly in North America and in UK over the last 18 months. And actually, we're opening our platform for the growers of the world at this point, which is one of the reasons we're obviously on that webinar. I'll talk about it in a little bit more in a second. And before I go there, I want to talk a little bit about what's the value for our customers. So at the end of the day, the way I think about value is in three key buckets. Bucket number one, we're going to digitalize all of your quality control processes and automate some of it. By some of it, I mean size and color can probably be automated. Defects is still in progress now, so you're still going to enter most of the defects data into the app. But just by what we're offering through digitalization, we're likely to save somewhere between 30 to 60% of the actual testing time that you guys are spending on today. Bucket number two, welcome to the big data world. All the data is on the cloud, real-time information, automatically generated reports, a lot of insights and analytics, which we're not going to go into the details now. I do want to mention one thing, which is probably on the mind of a lot of the people on this call. We do have an offline mode. So in case you do not have a good wireless or Wi-Fi receptivity in where you are, you can still perform the inspection process with the mobile app. And when you get to whatever, 3, 4, 5G or Wi-Fi area, it will go up to the cloud and come back with the grade. And then finally, which is the biggest, I think, value driver, is the ability to help you reduce your rejections and claims. And just an example, the column on the left-hand side is VPC, which is the third largest Latin American berry and grape exporter today in the world. We enable these guys to reduce about 30% of the subjectivity on the inspection process and about 35% in rejections in grapes. That's a 2025 data. Sunkist, the largest North American citrus player, we help them reduce about 30% of the claims that they realize in 2025. That translates to millions of dollars. The one on the right-hand side is Dole Sunshine, the world #1 pineapple and banana player in the world. I think after utilizing Clarifresh, you should expect probably somewhere between 10 to 30% of reduced rejections and price renegotiation with your customers. We're essentially leveling the playing field for you guys so you can share in real time what quality you see coming from your supply to your buyer so you can mitigate the risk of being rejected or price renegotiated. And we have a special program for what we call SMB, small, medium businesses, which is essentially the growers of the world. We actually have a process where you can go online. If you click on the enter the data of how many inspectors, which most of you likely have less than 5, you're just going to be directed to like a Netflix kind of experience where you can literally onboard in a self-serve manner. You can put your credit card and you pay monthly, somewhere between $50 to $200 per user per month, depending on which kind of license you want. You can stop it on a monthly basis, just like Netflix, and you only pay for the month that you actually have your season in place. And to finish up, our goal, our mission is really to help the supply chain standardize the way quality is evaluated across the entire supply chain. We started, as I mentioned, the business from a go-to-market perspective with the large marketing companies in the world. We then expanded downstream over the last 18 months to the wholesaler and retailer. And we are now essentially opening our platform for the smaller players across the supply chain, including the growers, with the goal to essentially close this loop and make sure that everyone in the supply chain communicates and evaluates quality in a consistent manner. So that's kind of the short overview. I'll write my details, my email address in the chat. So if you have follow-up questions, requests, happy to take it, and we can take it offline from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elad, for the very interesting presentation. Again, as we said, please write your questions, and at the end, we will try to follow up most of them. Now we're moving to our next expert. Name is Justin Bakoubolo, and he's the founder and AI researcher at Umbaji, a Togolese startup developing ethical and inclusive AI solutions for African languages. He's a trained engineer specializing in robotics, big data, and artificial intelligence. And he works on the creation of fair datasets, AI models, and APIs for low-resource African languages, with applications in translation, speech recognition, text-to-speech, and text generation. Through Umbaji and the Jodi platform, he has contributed to the development of models for languages such as Iwi and Kabye, while collaborating on Gen AI data projects with international partners such as Mozilla and Meta. His work combines technical expertise in MLOs, PIS, cloud orchestration, and AI model deployment with a strong social impact vision aimed at making artificial intelligence more accessible, representative, and useful for African communities. So, Justin, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am not sure you can hear me.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So we got a very good introduction. So I am not sure. There's no need to dive into more of it right now. So I'll be jumping immediately to a presentation, I think, which is more focused on the theme of this webinar. So what I wanted to share today is more of the current state of the problem in Africa, and how what we are proposing can help actually resolve the issue with fruits and vegetable in the on the African continent. So basically, the problem is Africa is I think one of the country I mean one of the continents where people consume a lot fresh vegetables, and where there is a high market, a high demand for fresh vegetable. In Africa, people tend more to buy things on the market, and will not necessarily go to the supermarket to buy like their fruits and vegetables. So there is a problem regarding that. Sorry. Yeah, there's a problem regarding that, which is definitely the problem is the producers and the people who work to harvest these fruits and vegetables. They have a high loss, because basically the time elapsed between the harvest and the time elapsed between the harvest and the time where people consume the fruits and the vegetables are most often too long. And that's the reason why the intervention of AI, it's going to be very beneficial and very effective to help farmers and producers get a better share of the market. I think there is an estimate that the African market for fruits and vegetables will be more than 3 trillion. So definitely, I think regarding that, the AI, I mean, implementation of implementation of AI system can help save more than 50% of the loss that the producers are experiencing in Africa regarding fruits and vegetables. So there are several areas where this can happen. There are several ways of preventing that. So there are post-harvest methods of preventing these loss, but there are also more pre-harvest as well methods that people can help prevent the loss and get more benefits from what they're producing actually. And that's also where Umbaji working, especially I mean on the full pipeline of the production, we are providing early warning system. That's what I mentioned on this slide, automated SMS, not only SMS, but also a way to communicate effectively with the people in their local languages. So as mentioned during the presentation, we actually were the first company in Togo to build a language model for Togolese languages. And then we are trying to build several use cases for the people that need it the most. We know, for example, that in Togo we have more than 50% of the economy which comes from the informal sector and including the people who do the harvesting and who commercialize fruits and vegetables. That's the very motivation of our AI system. Not only we produce AI system, but as you see, we also have data collection solutions. Right now, more focused on local languages, but more in more general terms, I would say we work in partnership with several institutions that have capacity in terms of satellite imaging and in terms of generating the machine learning models that can help I would say trigger the early warning system that we are providing to the people. So our AI system is a multilingual voice agent that is accessible not only on via SMS but via phone call, via WhatsApp. And the idea here is being that, for example, we can trigger an alert when there is a high risk of a certain harvest to perish. I must admit that we are still building pilot with we work on other domains and we haven't built a lot of pilots, so we're very interested working with existing companies that have the need of this solution regarding fruits and vegetables. We've built pilot with several other companies, but right now we are still exploring the benefits of this regarding fruits and vegetables. But most definitely what we do is, as I was mentioning, when there is a high risk, when, for example, the machine learning models from our partner triggers or say, okay, regarding this harvest that was harvested like a month ago, there's a high risk of this being perished. Not only using Yachty, you can call the people, talk to them in their local languages, but also provide them the necessary advice to extend I would say the viability or the the usability of the fruits and the vegetables to help them not experience loss immediately, but from production to harvesting and commercialization, they will be able to receive timely alerts and timely advice, not only on their crop and the states of their crop, but also on general advice that can help them be more effective in the way that they manage their crops and their harvesting system and how they store everything. So basically, that's the idea behind Yachty, and really we hope that we will be able to work with some of the organizations that are present here, so that we can be communicating effectively and providing the necessary advices to the farmers and cooperatives that I mean, a lot of the African continent farmers have come into cooperative, and this is what also we see in our model to be a solution that's inclusive and social. Is instead of immediately working with the farmers, we prefer working with the cooperatives that will that will help spread the use of the AI to the farmers. So basically, I think my presentation wasn't that long, but I hope you could get a sense of what we are trying to communicate. And we really hope that with this, there will be a refresh in the way that people consume, in the way that people produce, and in the way that people also store their fruits and vegetables to help gain more sustainability regarding fruits and vegetables production in Africa. So that's basically what I wanted to share right now. Thank you. I will share my contact details as well, and I'm happy to discuss partnerships.
Thank you very much, Justin. Very interesting. We are moving now to the second part of our webinar. So now we move to Esther Kimani, the founder and CEO of FarmerLifeline Technologies, a Kenyan agri-tech and climate tech company, using artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, and solar-powered devices to help smallholder farmers detect crop pests and disease earlier. Drawing on her own experience growing up in a farming community, Esther developed an accessible technology that continuously monitors crops, sends alerts to farmers' phones, and supports timely decision-making to reduce crop losses and improve yields. Her work focuses strongly on underserved rural communities, women farmers, climate resilience, and inclusive access to agricultural innovation. Esther also gained international recognition for her contribution to AI-driven agriculture, including winning the 2024 Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation and being recognized through platforms such as GITAS and the FAO STI Innovation Portal. Esther, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you so much for the introduction. As the earlier speaker said, we'll just go straight to the presentation from such an introduction. So yes, I'm Esther Kimani, the founder and CEO of FarmerLifeline Technologies. Allow me to just take you through a journey of what we do, how we do it, and the why we are doing all this for smallholder farmers. As mentioned earlier, I grew up doing farming with my dad, just like other members of the community. It is here that I got to understand the work and the effort that smallholder farmers put into the land, expecting that the yields they are going to get there will sustain their livelihoods. But sadly, smallholder farmers still lie under the poverty line, earning below $1 a day, most of them. So when I was doing farming with my dad is when I realized that pests destroy nearly half of our produce, if not more, in different farming seasons. And girls like myself did not even make it to go to school. Some were married off early, some boys had to drop off, and then child labor set in. And I was actually the only girl from my village who made it to the university. So this was me on the first day reporting with a gray suitcase. And I knew that I was leaving home to change home. And I had the opportunity to study computer science at the university. And I did my research even as I was studying and realized that we lose almost half of the food produced to pests and diseases. And this is food enough to feed about 1.2 billion people every year. And it is projected that if immediate interventions are not employed, then we could be losing up to 60%. And by mid-century, we could be losing 3/4 of the food produced to pests and diseases. And when you look at even fruits and vegetables, they are among the most vulnerable because they are highly perishable and susceptible to fungal, bacterial, viral, and even insect attacks. So about 70% of this food being produced being lost to pests and diseases. So what farmers have been doing in a bid to find a solution, they excessively use synthetic fertilizers and farm chemicals. And let's look at this graph here, because these are the emissions from the farming sector when they're excessively using the chemicals. And currently it's about at 24%. But if you compare the emissions from the agricultural sector and something like burning of the fossil fuels and the transport sector, unfortunately, if again immediate action is not taken, that the agricultural sector could actually surpass the two industries. And why this matters, and the reason why this has also existed for so long, is because when you look at Africa, something like the fall army worm is destroying maize close to a value of between 2 billion to 6 billion across 12 African countries. Here in Kenya, over 800,000 hectares annually is affected by the fall army worm. And that's more than half of the harvest from these smallholder farmers. In East Africa, we're talking about the desert locust invasion, and the locusts do not even choose which kind of crops they're going to destroy. It is whatever they find on the farm, be it fruit, vegetable, or even cereal. Now, in Nigeria, we've heard of the tuta absoluta, even last year, destroying the tomatoes, and the losses were enormous. In South Asia, we have the mango hopper and the fruit fly infestations, with recurring outbreaks in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, causing up to 80% losses in the mango market. Now, I looked at the options that farmers have, and after studying computer science and realizing the potential that there is in machine learning, computer vision, and AI, I met an able team. We developed and patented a one of its kind solar-powered crop pest and disease detection device. It uses machine learning algorithms, computer vision to detect pests and disease on the farm. So this is how it works. Once a farmer reaches out to us, we deliver the device, we permanently mount it on the farm. This is an actual image of a farm with one of our devices. So the camera will continuously capture images of the crops on these farms. And then once there's a pest or disease, the respective farmer will receive an SMS on their mobile phone in their local language. And this SMS will contain the pest or disease that has been detected and recommendations of what they should apply and the exact quantities. And these farmers only pay us a subscription fee of using the device of $3 a month. And when we look at the economics also as a business, we looked at the willingness to pay of a smallholder farmer for this technology. Drone companies charge about $100 per hour to fly over farms to detect pests and diseases. We have private agronomists. They take samples to labs for about $60 per test. And then they come back 2 to 3 weeks later with a diagnosis. And we are talking about smallholder farmers who do not even have smartphones to even scan with their own phones on the farm. So we look at this as a win-win economics for us, because as a business, it makes sense. And also for the farmer, it's affordable and giving the timely detection of the pests and diseases required. So far, we've done the installation in over 5,000 farms. We are guaranteeing farmers of increase in their yields of about 35% based on the historical data that we've had of farmers using our innovation, reducing their losses. And as a company, we've also filed for an Africa-wide patent. We also have 5 patents here in Kenya. And following the recommendations of even natural ways of controlling the pests and diseases, we've enabled farmers save 100,000 metric tons of carbon from being emitted into the atmosphere. And it is because of such impacts that we received the United Nations FAO Achievement Scroll, as mentioned in the introduction, among other accolades that we've received. I'll just quote His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of Rwanda, said that with innovators like Esther, Africa's future is not just bright, it's being brilliantly engineered. A young girl turning the tide on food insecurity, poverty, and climate change, and inspiring a generation to dream bigger. Now, what are some of the lessons that I've learned together with my team when doing the implementation of this technology or AI, especially with smallholder farmers? One is that solutions must work offline. And I think that was alluded to earlier by another solution in low connectivity areas. Why? We're talking about farmers who most do not have smartphones, and the connectivity in these regions is also very low and limited. So that's why also as FarmerLifeline, we are connecting the technology to GSM. GSM is what enables farmers to receive SMSs, which all of them are able to read, all of them are able to receive, whether there's connection or no connection. They're able to receive the SMSs, whether they're using a feature phone, whether they're using a smartphone. 2, design your solution as an infrastructure and not a standalone AI product. We started only with pest and disease detection, but realize that if we work as a silo of only that part of the value chain, then we are missing out on a lot. And we now integrated recommendation of the seeds that the farmer should plant that are more resistant to pests and diseases, that are more climate suited, even for their soils, detect the pests and diseases for the farmers, use the data to link them to credit and insurance companies and the like. So thinking about the solution as an infrastructure more than a standalone AI product. There is a very unique dynamic when you're working with smallholder farmers, whereby you'll find that most of the labor force, of course, is from the women, but the payers of the technology are the men. And when it comes to gender balance there, we had to think about also bringing men on board, not just capacity building the women with the technology and how they'll be interpreting the SMSs, but also the men who will be paying for the technology. So there was a unique dynamic that we had to bring on board, even as we target at least 65% of our users being women. Now, this is now for innovators like myself. User-centered design and simplicity and usability are quite critical when it comes to adoption. So when we come in with jargon like computer vision, machine learning, AI, for smallholder farmers, the likelihood that they will adopt the technology is quite low. But when you break down the technology to something like a simple SMS that they are used to, and for us, we're actually doing the SMSs in local language, then they see this is something that they can actually relate to. Yes, it's something technical, but you've broken it down to a level that they too can understand, so that we also bridge that digital divide gap that exists for those who are at least literate and those who are illiterate when it comes to technology, so that they also feel they are also included. That is like democratizing AI, making sure that we are leaving no one behind. And then for those who are developing, they have to think about the user also on the other end. How simple is it for them to use it? How are they interacting with it? So that's also a call for us as innovators and other innovators in the room. Then farmers adopt technology faster when they see the direct economic benefit. It's not just about having it on the farm. Does it translate to increase in yields? Does it translate to them being able to afford most of their basic needs? Are they earning more? Are they able to meet more needs? Are decent livelihoods, their dignity being restored? So this mean more when you're working with marginalized and rural communities, such as the one that we work with. And the challenges our food systems face will not be solved by ideas alone, but by the courage to fund them early. This is for our funders in the room, when they are still fragile yet full of opportunity. Supporting startups is not charity. It is the most direct investment in the future of food and resilience. This is a call for investors and even funders at startups like ourselves and others in the room who are directly impacting the lives of farmers or other marginalized communities. That it also takes time to build these solutions. It takes time to go back, to listen to them, to understand that we are actually meeting a need. And when you invest in us, when we are meeting now this smallholder farmers, it directly translates to also the impact that we're having on the ground. So it's still a call also to those who are partners and stakeholders when it comes to investing in early startups such as myself. So thank you for the time to share what we do. These are my contacts. Anyone who'd like to reach out even after this, feel free to do so. And we'll also be looking forward to the question and answer session where we can answer any questions that may have come up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. So we are reaching the last expert, and then we will move to the questions and answer section. Now we will welcome Delia Nakato, data manager at Enimiro Products Uganda Ltd, an agribusiness working with over 4,000 smallholder farmers in 21 districts countrywide to strengthen agricultural value chains. She holds a bachelor degree in information systems and technology and has over 3 years experience in data management and analysis to drive operational performance. In her role, Delia oversees the design and implementation of digital data systems, including tools such as Survey CTO, PostgreSQL, and Microsoft Power Business Intelligence to support real-time monitoring and decision-making. She plays a key role in ensuring that field activities are aligned with organizational goals through data insights and performance tracking. And her interests lie in building scalable, data-driven solutions that enhance farmer productivity, improve accountability, and support sustainable agricultural development. Delia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jose. Like I was introduced, my name is Delia and I am from Enimiro. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'll start our presentation by who we are and what we do. Like we said, Enimiro works with 4,000 smallholder farmers in Uganda. Across we work with vanilla, we work with fruits like pineapple, jackfruit, and coffee. Our focus is mainly to improve farmer income, traceability, food security, and export market access. We are currently exporting to the EU and the US, and we are certified organic. We have quality. We have food safety certifications, Rainforest Alliance. All these certifications help us to ensure that we remain, and ensure sustainability for our farmers. As our operations keep scaling up, digital systems are becoming increasingly important for traceability and operational management. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. Yeah. At Enimiro, traceability starts with the farmer. We identified that working with the farmer as the backbone or the source of the whole value chain gives us an assurance of we shall have product tomorrow. So every farmer is registered and GPS, and we register them using Survey CTO. And during field visits, we have a group of agronomists that are in the 21 districts, 31 agronomists, and these continuously monitor the farmers to keep ensuring that farmers are compliant, and also collect production data from the farmers. At harvest, the farmers' details are linked to the purchasers and back to the farmer profile, and that's ensuring we are having traceability across the whole value chain. Traceability is extremely important for export compliance and operational visibility. In Enimiro, we use Survey CTO to register the farmers, capture GPS location, monitor field activities, and also record harvest intake. This helps us in improving transparency, reducing disputes, and building structured databases that can later support the AI-driven forecasting for analysis. Next slide. Our major lessons that we have learned at Enimiro and during the AI adoption starts with data quality. Being in Africa, I'll not say that Africa is really badly off, but the fact that we are just adapting all these things, it becomes a little bit hard if we do not have consistent data. So AI is driven by data, as the basic computer language is garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of data affects the outputs of the systems that we use. So it is a challenge that we're supposed to ensure that it's constant training to the team, constant training to all the agronomists and the farmers themselves to ensure that we have the data correctly captured. Inconsistent field data creates unreliable outputs. Also, being that we are dealing with farmers in rural areas, connectivity becomes a problem. That internet is very slow, or internet is completely not there. So we ensure that how do we fight this is using Survey CTO that helps us to capture data even offline. So if we are able to use AI tools offline, that is very good, because as a business that works with farmers in villages, rural areas, connectivity is a challenge. And this is why it is very essential for us to have offline capable tools. Farmer trust is very, very important in everything that we are doing for traceability and everything. When during field visits, the field team will tell you farmers are asking, how are we benefiting from all this? We are supposed to ensure that farmers see the vision with us. If we are tracking the farmer's tracking the farmer's field history from the time of planting to the time of harvest to the time of export, we tell the farmers that this is information that helps us, one, understand your current situation, forecast your situation in the future to help us plan and also reach the outside markets. So when farmers trust that whatever you're doing is benefiting them at the end of the day, they will always be ready to comply. Another challenge that we have with AI is the human versus the AI judgment. There is what can be forecasted by the models, but there is what is reality on ground. So it becomes a challenge that sometimes we humans have AI that has forecasted something, but we have to come and override it to align it to what is on ground. So those become a bit of the challenges that we have faced using AI. Next slide, please. Thank you. Currently, Enimiro uses Survey CTO for offline data collection. So this is a tool that we use for offline data collection that helps us even when connectivity is poor. Survey CTO is there for us. Then also we use the Power BI for our reporting, summaries and dashboards, geomapping for location, operational planning. This geomapping helps direct the field teams to where exactly this farmer is. And if we are doing analysis on farmer performance, which region is affected by a certain performance, or farmers are performing highly in a certain region, what are they doing better than those farmers that are in a certain region that are not performing well? So the forecasting becomes easier, the accountability and management decisions. So those are the current solutions that we use at Enimiro. Slide 5. Where does AI take us next? We believe that AI can maintain agribusinesses, improve forecasting, identify risks for farmers earlier, optimize logistics, and improve supply chain coordination. In the business that we deal in, forecast is very, very important as it helps us to plan for the logistics that we are going to use. So, for example, the pineapples that we use, we are supposed to know 3 weeks before what product we have this week, what will we have next week, and what we will have the following week. So we are supposed to know in advance how we are going to perform in the 3 weeks. So forecasting models are very important currently for us as Enimiro, but also for the future planning of the business. AI remains a practical, affordable, local to local realities. If that is possible and it can be accessed, it can be managed by even the commonest of people, AI will be the best thing that can happen to agribusinesses. So that was my last slide for presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Delia. Very interesting presentation. So now we are moving into the questions and answers session. I'm going to start with Mercedes. You already checked that there's a question on how small, medium enterprises have difficult investment capacity. What can be done so that artificial intelligence is relevant to small, medium enterprises? Can
Yes.
you have any comments
Yes,
on that?
hi. I think I can reply this also with other questions where they were asking if which are the practical incentives for improving quality of data shared by small scale farmers. Because, well, the first question relates to the investment capacity. So this was one of the barriers that I mentioned, and there is where there is a role for policymakers to help these kind of farmers overcome these barriers. And I cannot provide a general reply because this will depend on the context where these farmers are located and which are their problems for investment. Sometimes it can be that for different reasons related with land ownership, they cannot access credit lines, or other reasons that prevent them from accessing finance. But so there is the role for policymakers to ensure and provide tailored solutions for this type of farmers. But then I wanted to link it to the other question, because this is something that I have been also working a lot, and it relates to barriers, because farmers sometimes I have had a lot of exchanges with farmers on this topic, and sometimes they focus more on the barriers than on these potential benefits for them. But there are many incentives for farmers to work together and to improve the quality of the data. And these incentives are related to practical and outcome oriented results of these actions. And there are direct on-farm benefits that some of them were mentioned in my presentation, but also in these examples. And you can see how these the adoption of these technologies can impact productivity, sustainability, and improve the profitability of farms. It also can provide access to services and markets, reduce risk, and increase resilience of farms. And what we focused on our work is on how governments can create the enabling conditions and can align the incentives of the stakeholders for this to happen. We believe that different types of firms and input providers and technology providers and farmers and also governments can benefit from these technologies, but they all need to work together in enabling conditions and in align the incentives for this to happen. I am happy to provide more details. These are very long questions, but I provided my contact to you.
Sure, no, thanks a lot. And actually, yes, I remind everybody that we will circulate, well, all the presentations are available. So all the contact details of all the presenters will be available. So you can follow up even after the session bilaterally with them if you have more questions. Thank you very much, Mercedes. I move now to, I think there's one question for Elad. Well, there's several questions, but one here maybe to clarify, Elad, is they're asking if you are a small, medium enterprise and how do you manage supplying these very big 100 customers that you have with fresh fruits? And on average, how much do you supply to each of them and how often? And if do you outsource or have your own production? There's some misunderstanding there, but if you can clarify, Elad, please.
Yeah, just to clarify, we're not a fresh produce supplier. We're a software company servicing the fresh produce stakeholders, whether they are growers, marketing companies, wholesalers, or grocery retailers. We are an SMP. We're a startup. That's how it's called in the technology world. With about 27 employees. We're located in 3 different continents. We're lucky in that we don't need to be on site to actually deploy our software for our customers. So 95% of the job is being done remotely through our operation team that is localized, but is providing the implementation services and support thereafter on a remote way, and it actually works very effectively.
Perfect. And I saw you answering the chat, but maybe very quickly. I mean, there was one question about your app, if it complies with marketing standards for fruit and vegetables.
So, yes, but we don't I always tell my customers, I'm not going to tell you how to do the QC. I'm going to ask you how you're doing it. We're just going to automate it for you. And so we already have, for example, OECD and USDA quality specs for a lot of produce categories on our platform. But we will help you digitalize any spec that you're using.
Okay, clear. Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Let me move to Justin. So Justin, there's one question is, does your app assist in indicating the pests of the produce, example, scale and mealybugs, or it will assist in reducing losses, start with South Africa and citrus? I'm not sure this was for Justin. It was... I don't think that was Justin's. We just double check if this question was for Justin. Because I think, well, anyway, how to have your app in local language? What languages available do you have now, Justin?
Yeah, so currently we, as I'm mentioning in the chat, we have an API for businesses, and we deploy custom solution for organizations that do not have a tech team. For example, we work with a company in Benin to deploy a WhatsApp chatbot version. But then if you have your own app, you can use our API and then integrate our AI models in what you do. So currently we're more focused on Togolese languages a lot. We have Ewe, Kabye, and a lot of Togolese languages plus French and English, of course. And we're expanding now, and I think that's also the interest of my being here. I would say if there's any partner in another country that is ready for us to deploy pilots, I think it's the time that we can expand on additional languages as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Justin. I have one quick question for... Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying a question, what level is needed to get access to your app? So I think the very idea here is to make it accessible to anyone. And basically, even as I was mentioning, people from the informal sector that does not necessarily have a formal education. So because of that, we have the phone calls. And these phone calls is when, for example, you are, let's say you are a farmer and then you subscribe to our early warning system. You will receive a phone call and then be interacting with the AI via a phone call in your local language. So that's the part of it that we are trying to make accessible to everyone. Hopefully I've replied to the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin. I think it was clear. Let me move. I have one question for, well, several questions for Esther. So what's the range of fruit and vegetables covered by FarmerLifeline? Will be one. Is your app using different languages? Or does it need a smartphone to get accessed? And they're asking, where are you now? If you have representation in Uganda. I think you're in Kenya. And finally, what's the... No, I think that's all. You could answer that, Esther.
Thank you also for the question. We ensure that the technology is accessible to smallholder farmers without smartphones. So it's used on the feature phone, but the feature phone receives SMS. So we linked to that GSM technology. So the device will identify the pest or disease, do the analysis, and then the information being conveyed to the farmer is in a simple SMS. And this SMS is in their local language. So they'll understand the crop, the pest or disease that has been detected, and the recommendation of what they should apply in simple language. It can be in English, Swahili, like right now we have it in the local languages here in Kenya. And it's a big breakthrough because they are now able now to relate to the information that they are receiving. They're not getting AI or machine learning or computer vision algorithms. It's just a simple SMS that they're having to interact with. We have presence in Kenya, but we've already begun tests in Uganda. We've also done some tests in Rwanda, Nigeria, Zambia, and the like. But with any invitations, we are more than willing to begin operations in any of these countries because the tests were successful and it's ready for deployment in any country. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Now we move to Delia. We have one quick question for Delia. What is the compliance rate of a batch of fruit you harvested using your app with the ripeness standard? And if you carried out assessments to that effect? Delia.
Thank you very much. The compliance rate is, I would say, 100% because our farmers are organic certified, and with the constant inspections, because we do internal inspections, we do farmer trainings, and we do external inspections. We are certified by a control union, and they would take samples to check on the pesticide residues. And then for RA, we use control union again for the Rainforest Alliance. So with the constant trainings, farmers are audited both internally and externally to check on their compliance and ensure that they are compliant. So through our system, I'll not call it an app really. I'll not call it an app, and we did not design any app. It is a system that we have over time developed and used to ensure that we are having traceability. So we find that farmers are very compliant for both the EU standards and the NOP and for the Rainforest Alliance. Then for the food safety, we follow the same procedure throughout the facility. The facility is organic certified, and samples or assessments are done from accredited labs to ensure that we remain compliant. Maybe I don't know if I've answered the question. And just to correct, we did not create any app. These are systems that we develop. So we find CervCTO just that it is easily customizable to whatever that you want to use it to. So we customize it, then do the Power BI presentations, forecasts, and everything, automation through AI to give us the forecast or alert on any danger, high-risk farmers for us to meet them. Then for rainforest, we use the same AI tools, geomapping to find high-risk farmers for deforestation and try and ensure that we are comparing the farm plot from years back and now to check the compliance and the risk.
Thank you very much, Delia. Now it's clear. Again, we are now going to move to the conclusion. So any additional questions, you will be given the contact details of all the experts, so you can follow up bilaterally with them. So now I will give the floor to Ahoefa Soklou, so the project officer of Networks and Alliances of COLEAD, to give some conclusions and final remarks. Ahoefa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jose. I'll do this in French. This is a great pleasure for us, and we want to thank you for participating.
We'd like to thank everyone for their participation in this session. It was very exciting to listen to all of you, and I'd like to thank all the participants and panelists for their commitment throughout this session. And I believe that this morning's discussions enable us to better understand how AI is already transforming the fruit and vegetable value chains, and how it can help the main stakeholders to take proper decisions. And so of course, AI isn't everything, but it is excellent for crop monitoring, pest and disease control, traceability also. And what comes out from this session is that AI can truly open up new perspectives in order to better plan the operations in this sector. Of course, thanks to, and of course, I must say that it adapts well to complex markets. And of course, it shows that AI, of course, is not only a technology, it also triggers questions such as data, infrastructure, skills, cost. We had a few questions in this respect, trust and adaptation to companies and the local reality of every SME. So, of course, we will have to identify the most useful use cases when it comes to companies. And of course, what are the various sectors using this technology to bolster capacity and of the companies. And we also discussed adaptability and implementation of these solutions in our farms. How can we reinforce capacity of producers in order for them to be better understood and more efficient? The presentations will be shared, and we hope that this will be creating value for all the players in this sector. But we will have to make sure that this innovation remains inclusive. We don't want to widen existing gaps, but we want to contribute to making information available to users and producers. And so we'd like to thank the users and suppliers of this morning's technologies, scientists and professional organizations, institutions, also public institutions and partners. So AI is a true tool which can enhance the competitiveness in the fruit and veg sectors, but of course it must remain available, affordable for the players on the field. And before I close this webinar, I wanted to thank you once again and remind you that all the presentations will be made available on our platform Agronovators with the link which has already been shared in the chat earlier on, but you may access it via this platform and you will get all the recordings of the session. Thank you very much to all those who took part in this forum, and please join the hub if you want to carry on the discussion that we started over here. If you have any questions, of course, that will be the right place. And especially, we will be able to carry on the discussion with the members, with companies who are attending this session, and so keep connected to the members of the Agronovators community. And this is truly what this series of webinars is here for. And of course, we have our International Research Consortium, which is an Africa-Europe platform dedicated to discussion for research and innovation for all those who are interested. And we would like to invite all of you to join this platform. And we'll meet again in October for the 14th session of this series on digital traceability and transparency in the supply chains. And this next session will enable us to carry on this discussion, because there are a certain number of links, especially the use of digital tools and the reinforcement of food security. And to finish, thank you very much to all the panelists, to all the participants, and to our partner OECD for this very fruitful cooperation that we've had for a few years now, for their commitment and determination. Thank you very much, José, for your moderation. Thank you very much, my colleagues Nina, Inês, Gaëtan, and thank you very much to the interpreters for their support enabling the success of these webinars. Have a very nice day wherever you are. Enjoy the afternoon, the morning, wherever you are, and we'll meet again soon. Thank you very much for your attention and hope to see you soon.